Today, I want to expand further on the 5 people who are the closest to you. The 5 people closest to you are probably going to reflect the same amount that you have, maybe in your bank account, in your lifestyle, in your career, their mindset, their philosophy. It's very, very possible that y'all are very, very similar in all of those things. I want to get straight into the assignment today because we talked about a lot of this yesterday. And what I want you to do is write down the 5 people that are closest to you that you spent the most time with. It could be your coworkers or your family members or whoever it is. Who are the 5 people you physically spend the most time with in your life? How do each of these people affect you? Like positively, negatively? Most people are gonna give you both, right? Like a lot of my friends, they annoy the shit out of me, but at the same time, I'm ride or die for them. I might be arguing with them, but in the middle of that, if they need my help, I'm gonna go out there and help them. And that's most people's normal relationships. It's never perfect. It's never only positive. You just learn to deal with them. Also, it's all about managing them, right? Because some people, they're not manageable, but you can't control how close they are to you. Maybe it's a best friend that's always overstepping boundaries. I want you to figure out within this group of 5, who you should be spending more time with and who you should be spending less time with. And the way we figure that out is I want you to create within the 5 a list of pros and cons, right? Now it sucks to do this because they're all human beings and we don't want to put all these labels on them, but we have to get to the bottom of this, right? Because let's say you hang out with this one person because they're always available and they're always there to listen to you. But there's a give and take, right? Like they're always there, they're reliable, but then maybe they nag a lot. They're always there, but the payback is that you have to listen to them complain so much. But they're there for you though. Like, hey, when you need them and you need to talk to somebody, they're always there. They'll listen to you, but you got to listen to them back and they complain so much. Who knows? There's got to be a balance in a relationship. And if you're the one always giving and you're always like feeling like somebody's taking from you, or there's someone who's constantly making you feel like shit and there's nothing you're getting from them, maybe it's time you stop hanging out with them. But this is a way that I figure out how I can clearly gauge this relationship. Is this something that's a fair trade? Is this something where it's like, hey, maybe they're going through a rough time right now and it's like I have to deal with a lot of their bullshit, but in history they helped me out so freaking much. So this is just kind of like a give and take because we all have those different waves, like it's never going to be where it's like, you know what, I'm just benefiting the whole time and then it's my turn to give. I'm like, nah, you know what, you're just getting on my nerves now, see ya. That's a shitty friend, right? So I think what's important though is to realize that a friendship has to grow together. Or not just a friendship, but even in a relationship with a family member or, as a couple, you have to grow together. So one of my friends, he had a childhood friend from elementary school all the way up until college. He was a super cool guy. I liked his personality, but after college, he stopped growing up. And he was one of our roommates and he really got into drugs. And, I think it was one thing to do drugs and be responsible and continue hustling and providing for the group and in a way that, you gave value. You didn't take away so much. But he really went down a dark hole with the whole drug stuff to the point where, he was burdening everyone around him. He was bringing in guests that no one knew who they were. It's like, you can't bring in these shady people. What are you talking about, man? Like, have some respect for the roommates. He was causing all kinds of problems. And after a while, I was like, I get it. This guy's your childhood friend, but he's been fucking up for a whole entire year. I think it's time you let him go, I know it gets hard because you think of all the positive memories that you have with this dude. But there comes a point when someone has to put their foot down and say, hey, he's not respecting you or the rest of us. All he's doing is eating up everybody's food, leaving trash everywhere, inviting all these people that are just doing drugs all day in the house, not respecting the whole space, the public space. And he's late on rent. So what the fuck, dude? When is enough enough? And I get it. Like, some people might be going through a hard time or whatever, but I think a year is a good enough time to say, hey man, I don't think you're going to change. Get the fuck out of the house. And we all need to do that. I think a year was too damn long, but that was not my friend. That was my friend's friend. In your situation too, you know, you might be doing the same thing. You might have someone that you look back and you're like, 20 years, we were freaking awesome. But maybe you forgot in the last 4 years, they've been slipping as a friend and they've been using you. Or they just been so selfish that they forgot that they're hurting everyone around them. And those are the people you need to let go. And unless you take a big picture look, unless you take a look, an objective look, and write things down and realize, hold the fuck up. Okay? I'm thinking with my emotions right now. I'm holding on to the memories. The current state of the relationship is a fucking piece of shit, and I need to let this go. So for you, it might be hard, but for me, I like to write all of this down and to figure it out. Is this good? Is this bad? And who should I be hanging out with more? You know, within this group of 5, there might be someone that's like really doing well, and just like, man, you know what? Eddie's been really maturing these days. Eddie's getting his shit together. I want to hang out with Eddie more, man. Eddie's been so busy, but I got to figure out a way to, what is Eddie doing right? Eddie's doing something that I don't know, you know, something's going on. What is it? Maybe he's taking 90 days to freedom. I don't know. Shit. And so in your situation, go ahead and write that down and have some thought about it and see what you can do.